But earlier I spoke to Mr Farage and asked whether the failure to win the Stoke seat was a fundamental failure for his party.
It's been a very disappointing night. We didn't get it right, and that means we don't make the next big step up right now. However, bear this in mind, there are still millions of UKIP supporters and voters out there, and what we've got to do as a party now is bide our time whilst this Brexit process goes through, and I think will lead probably to many disappointments, and to analyse, what we didn't quite get right in this by-election.
What exactly do you think went wrong? Because in this particular seat in Stoke, 69.4% of the people voted for Brexit. This was Brexit heartland. This was low-hanging fruit for you, and you failed to pick it.
What we didn't succeed in doing was in getting Conservative voters to vote tactically for UKIP to beat Labour. And I suspect that what's happening right now is that Theresa May is riding on a wave of support because she's given a couple of big speeches on Brexit in which she said Brexit means Brexit.
But was the candidate also a problem?
Well, I can't think of anybody in politics who hasn't at some point been embarrassed by something that has been said or put out in their name. And that was tough, and that was difficult, and it's been rough for Paul. But, be in no doubt, I do think he's absolutely the right person to lead UKIP, and he must continue.
Is the problem here for UKIP that you don't know in which direction to turn? Because what it says on the UKIP tin, in other words, to leave the EU, is already happening. So what is the point of your party?
Well, I do think there is one big area that UKIP needs to own, and I'm not sure that we're being clear enough on it, and that is the question of immigration. We've just had the figures out. 74,000 people from Romania and Bulgaria alone came into the country over the course of the last year. I fear that after Article 50 gets triggered, that may well lead to really huge numbers of people coming into Britain from the European Union. UKIP needs to be clear and own the immigration argument. Now, there are some in the party who want us to run away from that argument, who feel awkward and embarrassed by it, and I'm suggesting we don't. I'm suggesting we own it.
So is the only way that you can get elected to the Houses of Parliament is to go as far on the immigration path as Donald Trump has gone in America? Is that the only solution for your party to actually occupy seats?
Well, given that it's the number one issue in British politics and the biggest concern to people, if we could own that issue, that wouldn't be a bad place to be.
Do you think that what Trump has done regarding immigration in the United States should be something that you or your party would advocate in Britain?
Well, should we have strong vetting? Should we make sure that we're a place that illegal immigrants can't come? Should we have a proper, balanced system where we take good people in from around the world? Absolutely. That's exactly what we should be doing. And I think maybe UKIP has slightly lost ownership of this argument.
You call it strong vetting, he calls it extreme vetting. So which one is it?
Doesn't matter as long as it stops terrorists coming in.
What about the ban on Muslim visitors from some countries? Do you agree with that? Is that something that you would want to see in the UK?
Well, I'm sorry, that's an outrageous distortion.
That is exactly what he's doing. That's what he's called it. Do you think that's a good idea or not?
It's not a ban. This is a total misrepresentation. What Trump has tried to do is for a period of 90 days to put a temporary halt on whilst he works out whether the vetting policies are right or not. And I think we should look at ourselves and our own hypocrisy in the United Kingdom. We condemn Trump for trying to do that, and we turn a complete blind eye to 16 countries in the world that ban Israeli Jews from going there.
But just to be clear, Nigel Farage, whatever you want to call it, what Trump is doing in America, what he is trying to do at the moment, you think is a good idea, and you think we should try and do it in the UK?
I think we should do everything we can to stop terrorists coming into Britain, do everything we can to stop people who fought in Syria and been brutalised in that conflict coming back to Britain. And only this week, a British person became a suicide bomber out in Mosul. We must do everything we can to stop that from happening. This is not based on religion, it's not based on loathing, it's based on common sense and trying to make your own communities as safe as possible.